Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tru Radio right here at WLVS Live. We are having a great night, ready to go. Happy New Year, everybody. I'll say it again. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm here, myself, Black GOP, Mr. Countdown himself, Sheeta P right here in the center. Sheeta, how you doing?
Good. Happy New Year, everyone.
And we got Mr. New Year himself, CP3, who I believe he brought in the New Year with like, what was it, like 17 wives or something like that? Was it?
Nah, brother, I came in the New Year with a bottle of sparkling cider. I came in different. I didn't have no drink at all. I just said I'm going to sit in the house and get me a bottle of sparkling cider and watch the countdown. It's something I've never really done before. So I said I'm going to do something different for a New Year.
Like sparkling cider and vodka or sparkling cider in 1738? I'm sure it wasn't just sparkling cider.
Sparkling cider and let's say some herbal medication went along with the occasion.
Oh, great. You had some penicillin to go through sparkling cider. That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Is that what they calling it these days?
I know that's what they're calling it in the 80s.
That'll work.
I would say this. I talked to my mother today, right, folks? And I talked to my mother, and my mother goes, Jason, did we? And we were like saying, Happy New Year. I'm like, Happy New Year, Mom. She's like, Happy New Year, son. She goes, didn't we talk that the night of New Year's? I said, well, Mom, I don't really remember. So we may have or haven't. I found myself on a Facebook Live at like 2 a.m. I watched it back and I deleted it immediately. I looked so wasted, but who knows how many innocent civilians saw that Facebook Live while I was damn near passed out, and I saw my boys live, and actually the same guy Ziggy that called into our show, shout out, and so I'm on Facebook Live, and I literally said, well, look, I got to get off, man, because I don't want to be on the Facebook Live with a gay dude for too long, because I didn't know. Okay, real fast, right? Okay, and we'll get into the show in a minute.
Oh shit!
Right, real fast. If you join someone's Facebook Live, here's what I just found out. It automatically shows up on your page.
Yep.
I did not know that. So here I am with this.
I didn't know that neither.
It automatically tags in the person that jumps in, so automatically it's nothing you can do.
So here I am after New Year's, after the ball drops, right? Get it? And I'm on the phone with some gay dude, and 10 minutes in, I say the most like the homophobic thing you could ever say. I was like, well, hey, I got to get off, and I got to talk to these bros because I don't want everybody to think that I'm bringing the New Year with a gay guy. And I woke up and saw it, and I deleted it. So that was my New Year's.
They thought you was coming out for your New Year's resolution, GOP.
Yeah. I didn't, but I'm sure other people did.
That's not right.
Oh boy. Hey man, once it's on the internet, it's on the internet.
It's over.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure all of my exes that are on my Facebook have that joint. Because on top of that, I said, you know how women say like New Year, New Me.
Yeah.
I was like these. Okay, right. Uh-oh. I was just like, these bitches be saying New Year, New Me, but all they mean is New Year, New Dick. And I had a whole Tupac moment.
That might be a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
She just like, well, that's not that wrong.
That's a fact.
I digress. We going off the rails kind of early tonight.
It's the first show of the new year, folks, and tonight's show is going to be a little bit. We're just going to start a little serious, right? So tonight is what I would like to call the State of the Union. It's when the president addresses the country. For those of you who don't know what the state or the union is out there in radio world, and I wanted myself, Sheeta, and Carol to kick the show off. Last show we had a great time. We were talking about what was it, like poor people at Red Box.
At the Red Box.
It was like 12 minutes of it. It was ridiculous. But tonight we have to kick the year off, so that's why I had to cut the comedy kind of short. But I would say this, for my version and my part of the State of the Union is that it's not like it's a whole new thing. I don't usually cut people off, but I'm just kidding. But like. But
see, that ain't right.
Live on the air.
Hashtag Joe Biden.
But really, realistically, one thing I've noticed in life is that people will cut themselves out of your life. Like you can cut people off, but sometimes you cut people off and bring them back, and cut people off and bring them back. You know what I mean? But like I noticed, I've got to the point at my stage in the game where people tend to just cut themselves out of your life, and they'll do stuff that you didn't even expect or didn't know or don't even have to argue with, and be so, for me anyway, be so upset at you or whatever because of the way you responded that they were like, well, I don't even want to talk to him. So there's no discussion. There's no repairment of the friendship. And in 2018, I lost roughly like probably 7, 8, 9 good friends. Not great, not best, maybe one of them. But by the time the year started, it's like they're all gone. I was like, wow. And I realized this on New Year's Day as I sat there and tried to find my leave. And I realized this where I was just like, okay, wow, all these people, because I'm calling around saying Happy New Year. And I was like, damn, I can't call this person, that person, that person, that person, that person. That people have eliminated themselves from my life. And I was like, it's a great feel, you know. And when you have people that, you know, want to kind of do your thing or be like you or date the women that you have dated or your good friends or whatever, and, you know, when all that happens and the drama goes down, you kind of stop and realize, like, wait a minute, oh my God, there's no drama at all. Like, particular people create drama and then be like, poof, you know? So that's amazing. You know, it's an amazing feel. So whoever you lost in 2018, I would tell people, I would advise people, don't just let it go. It's over. I don't care. And one of my boys I've known from like the 8th grade, right? So it happens. Okay. My next topic, as far as the State of the Union, right, is the state of Tru Radio and Tru Radio Network. We are officially syndicated. We are financed. We are just on the move, and it's crazy. And if it wasn't for people that have been with us, anyone that's been with us and may have left or had to been told to leave, but then, you know, and people that they're the Sheeta P's and the CP3s also, you know, on our live show, we've changed the entire game in just in under, I'm here to report, in just in under 3 years and some change, almost going into 4 years, right? We have brought ourselves from other stations, and we also have our blog talk radio format, and we're also featured on JET radio, just everything for people. It's like not like Jet, it's like just everything, you know. And so I mean that had to break. Come on, Carol. And so we're featured out there in West Virginia, and I'm negotiating with 2 other markets, being syndicated, and actually having my first time to go out and do the, you know, asking for money thing to finance a show. That's all been an amazing journey, and I can't wait to see where else we go. I mean, honestly, we're talking possibly a mixtape, possibly a blog site, possibly, you know, some other things, up to and including a movie feature where a director that just knows me, he's like, I want to film a radio part for my movie. He's like, what do you guys think? I was like, oh, we would do it. You guys didn't know that. They didn't even know that.
No, I didn't know that.
And so it's,
you need that.
yeah, we wouldn't get paid for it. It's a cheap underground Pennsylvania movie, but you know, but we would still be in a movie. Okay,
It'd be on my bill. It'd be on my resume. Damn it.
But so at the end of the day, like, just doing all this stuff and making all these moves has been an amazing journey. I will hand it over to which one of y'all?
Carol.
Carol.
CP3.
CP3, what it do?
CP3 is in the building on WLVS Radio, coming to you live. State of the Union for Sports on the Hill podcast. We are expanded. Our team is 10 deep now. We're looking to expand to 15. I'm actually in the works to talking to some interns to start running some of the social media pages, because it's starting to get a little overwhelming running 13 pages, 2 websites, and a YouTube channel, along with trying to keep the whole Sports on the Hill podcast movement moving forward. Season 3, we had the highlights of Doc Walker calling in, Heli Skarupa, gold medal female hockey player. And, you know, we were at the draft day, MLB Fan Fest, Redskins games, Wizards games, Capitals games. I mean, the list can go on. And if you tune in to Sports on the Hill podcast every Monday night on Tru Radio Network from 7 to 9 p.m., you will hear me call out this so-called DC sports media. And I normally don't drop the names, but since it's the State of the Union, ESPN 980, 106.7, I'm coming for you, because The BS y'all putting out of these airwaves that have these fans spouting that they come to me for clarity and understanding of y'all putting this BS out there. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the way your grandfathered in just because you know somebody or your daddy knows somebody. I'm coming from nowhere, but my movement is growing. Our movement is growing. So we coming for you. I'm getting 2,000 views on my post game when folks could be tuning into y'all and they're tuning into my Facebook live feed. Coming from nowhere. Coming from writing from a small rinky-dink blog 7 years ago to now having a radio show. We have press credentials for the Mystics, the Valor, in the talks with the Capitals and the Wizards. And also I might be able to finagle the Redskins, who everyone keeps telling me I cannot. And there's a $10,000 fee to get press credentials for the Redskins. And folks tell me I can't do it. They also told me I couldn't do a radio show. They also told me I couldn't have a team of 10 that's putting in love and hard work and dedication because they choose to, not because we're forcing them to. This movement is like nothing you've seen before. This is family. This is all love and dedication. We do this because we want to, not because we're forced to. So in 2019, you're going to see us. You're going to hear us. So like us, love us, hate us, delete us. It doesn't matter. We're still going to come across your timeline. We're still going to come across your ears because you can't get away from us because the Tru Radio Network takeover has started and the movement has begun. And if I had the mic, I would drop it right now, but it's too early in the show. Miss Sheeta.
Well, yes. Happy New Year
Woo!
to my good friends and to all those motherfuckers.
Stay in the union.
Put the children to bed.
To all those motherfuckers, including family members, including people that just fucking be hating. Like, we're taking over. Tru Radio is here. You know, don't ignore the magazines. Don't ignore the airplay. Don't ignore the Coke Boys. Don't ignore the fact that we're on air every Wednesday in this motherfucker. Don't ignore that shit.
Tell them, Sheeta.
Don't even fake about it. Everybody mad. You know what I mean? And that's just how I feel about it. You know, and it's just like we're moving to a next level, and I feel like everybody can handle it. To all those niggas in my DM that ain't spending a goddamn dime on nothing that I do, you can kiss my ass in Macy's Parade.
Woo.
And I'll blow you up like a blimp. So that's all I got to say about it. And that's how I feel about it. Like, seriously, for real, that's how I'm going. There is just so much going on. Like, there's too much. Our team is too strong. We work so hard. And for all you motherfuckers that want to ignore it, you can kiss my ass. And that's what I got to say about it.
Well.
And to all those niggas, bitches that be calling me, talking about their boyfriend. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. Just don't start name dropping on the State of the Union. We don't need.
I'm sorry.
Oh boy, I felt that going a whole different way right there. We had to put the brakes on that because I got a feeling some names was going to start come out.
I thought the names were dropping too. And
pull the
they don't
phone
have
out.
to. And please, shit, we don't need the names to drop.
Oh,
but
it might be a screenshot joint. Like, here it go, right here.
But it's facts on facts. So and it's true though about people that don't, you know, want to acknowledge or like they'll like if I put up a picture of a cheeseburger, right? Like I'll get like 35 likes, right? If I put the show up, 6, you know. So I mean, she was right though. You know, you can't, you know. I'm gonna talk to them in a different manner, but you can't. The people that ignore, and there are people even within. Let's be honest. There are people that are even within Tru Radio Network who aren't working as hard as they could be, and they still don't like or support the stuff we tag them in and share with them. So it's like, you know. So I totally get what she's saying.
Yeah.
All right. State of the Union over. Everybody, Sheeta P killed it.
Yeah.
You know, exactly. They're dead. I killed. I would tell you guys a story about when I killed a whole another radio company, like a whole another podcasting company. That's another.
I think you killed a lot of those.
It happens, right?
Well, they're
So,
going.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tru Radio. This is Black GOP, Sheeta P, CP3, and we did not plan on having P's in all of our names. I swear to God, like I have been asked that several times. CP3, what's on your mind?
Oh, state of DC sports. As we all know, the Redskins are out of the playoffs.
I'm choking. I'm choke.
Redskins.
That was. I can't even call that a choke. That was just an abomination of injuries, dysfunction, and discombobulation. And the way the season ended, getting shut out at home to a team trying to make the playoffs. I was just numb to it. I really didn't expect much. It was kind of a perfect storm for the Redskins to go into with the Eagles. And, just to put up a donut at home, that's not good. And
It was 0, right?
Yeah, donut.
I just checking.
Thanks, Sheeta. Yeah. And the fact that Jay Gruden will be retained, and it seems like Jay Gruden will be retained. I've seen some clips of some more shakeup coming, so I'm not saying any moves are coming, but they say some things are in the works, and some folks are going to be brought in the Redskins part because they cannot stand pat and do the same thing that they did this year with the same personnel. I feel they're definitely going to probably fire the defensive coordinator, bring in somebody new, and hopefully I'm praying that they strip the play calling duties from Jay Gruden because he's shown through his whole tenure here that he is not the answer at play calling, and that it may be too much for him to be the head coach and the play caller. He can be, just like I said, over and over again. He can be like Jason Garrett in Dallas, just stand on the sideline and clap, look stupid, and then go to the podium, and when they lose, look like a deer in the headlights, and when they win, take all the credit for it. I don't have a problem with that. But just take away the play calling duties because he's too wishy-washy. He has an AFL background. Yes, he was an offensive coordinator in Cincinnati and took them to the playoffs, but they did nothing in the playoffs. So my other hashtag is both Grudens are overrated, which they are. We've seen what the other Gruden did in Oakland, and we've seen what Jay Gruden's done here so far. So I really don't have too much to say about the Redskins. We're going to see what happens in the next few days. Like I said, there's some rumblings and some moves coming. Stay tuned to the Sports on the Hill podcast page because we're going to break it as soon as we get it. We have our insiders that are on the show every Monday night, so stay tuned for that. I guess I'll try to get the momentum going in the upward spiral instead of going to the Caps, which is the bright spot of the DMV teams. We'll talk about the Wizards. They're actually playing right now. When I checked the score, they were up, decent amount over Atlanta, which is one of the other sorrier teams in the league. But when I just checked the score, they were only up by 2 with like 8 minutes left in the fourth. So it looks like they're going to be in for another loss. With John Wall, hanging it up for the rest of the season, getting heel surgery, they feel that that's going to prevent him from having to worry about getting his Achilles. He's been having Achilles soreness, and for a point guard with speed as your weapon, you definitely want to make sure your legs and everything are good. So with their season starting out the way it has, it was no reason to even keep risking injury or risking anything. Might as well go ahead and put him on the shelf, chalk the season up, get some younger guys in there to get some experience. And ironically, the first game he missed, they came back and won in like triple overtime. And I believe every game since that they've lost. But yeah, the Wizards are, the Wizards are the Wizards. Like I said, I threw in the towel on them a few years back. I really don't watch the NBA.
It's a depressing DC sports night.
Well, I mean,
I think that all cities seem to be a little depressing. Like, why do the major cities, their sports suck?
Well, I have a theory.
I don't understand it.
I have a theory. Well, for DC, my opinion is that, like in other cities like LA and New York, after midnight, there's still some constructive stuff you can do. In the city, after midnight, it's nothing but trouble. So it's hard for these athletes that have all this money to their disposal, that know what's out here, that know these, women are out here, good time are out here, And then, they go out here, get distracted, fall asleep in the meetings at the, at Redskins Park or at Wizards. And, it takes, so if you don't have that focus and that drive to be that A1, athlete, it's easy to get distracted. And if you don't have those work habits coming into the league and you've benefited just off your athleticism or because you came from a good program and you got drafted, it just adds to the mentality. And, I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just trying to give you an insight into, the mind of an athlete coming up in this new generation with AAU and all these sponsors and all this money that's being thrown at them where they don't even really have to have, a lot of talent. They just have to, make a couple of and one tapes or, get on a YouTube clip. And then next thing you know, they're the next hottest thing or they're the next LeBron James. And next thing you know, they're riding off into college and then going into the pros after 2 years. So the NBA is a fickle thing. That's why I really don't watch it anymore because it's overrated in my opinion. I miss old school basketball of the 90s, but I'm not going to get on my soapbox on that. Like I said, we're going to try to keep this on the upward spiral. We're not talking about the Capitals.
Woo! Love the Caps.
Yeah, that's the one bright spot, leaving 2018, having the Capitals win their first franchise Stanley Cup final for myself to witness it. I've been a diehard Caps fan from a kid. I've been, the hockey games throughout my whole life, and I love hockey more than like I said, basketball. It's football and hockey for me, then baseball. But the Capitals were able to get their first Stanley Cup in their 41-year history and bring a championship back to the city since, professional in the 4 major sports. We know that DC United has won some championships, but I'll let Robbie talk about that whenever he comes on.
Robbie is Jewish. I always want to point that out.
I forgot.
Carol's partner on Sports on the Hill is a Jewish man. He's a great guy.
Yes, he is. He's a great guy.
I figure that's the best credit I can give him. Because there's a lot that comes with that. Like if you say somebody's Jewish, and you're like, oh, okay, they're good with money, they're this, they're that, they take care of their kids, so that's why I would say Robbie's Jewish.
We're going there.
I'm going to cut that part out and send it to him.
But yes, we were able to experience the championship parade, which Sports on the Hill podcast. We was down there. We shot the footage. We put out a nice video. We were able to see them raise the cup. Ovi, he was named the 2018 DC Sports Person of the Year. I put a nice little video tribute out for him also at the end of the year. And it's just good to see these guys running back in the form. They had a game New Year's Eve where they had a lead of 3-1 and unfortunately gave up 5 unanswered goals and lost. But that's uncharacteristic of this team. They were on a 5-game losing streak and winning streak and had won, I believe, the last 16 out of 19. So it was a little hiccup, a little blip on the radar. Maybe they were looking forward to New Year's or maybe, started partying a little bit too early. Plus, it was a 12:30 start. So that's not a normal time for a hockey game, and maybe the other team didn't wake up until the second period when they put up 5 goals in the last.
Well, I heard Jay Gruden was coaching for the Caps that night.
That perfectly explains.
That's what I heard. That's what I read at TMZ.
Yeah, get a lead, go to the intermission, don't make adjustments, and lose in the end of the game. I mean, you DC People's Champ, my stance on Jay Gruden. I have never been a fan of his. Only reason I say keep him around because this team needs stability. You can't continue to change coaches, change coordinators, change players, and expect to get success. That's why I say they should play calling duties from him. Other than that, you're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, which is the definition of insanity. And I am crazy, but I am not insane. Words of a DC sports fan. And that's it.
Sounds good. Great DC wrap up. CP3. I think they're gonna turn around. Maybe I give them 5 years. 5. I'd say 5.
Bruh. If it takes another 5 years.
How long has it been?
Exactly. It's been, if it takes.
I try to be supportive.
No, brother. If it takes Gruden another 5 years to get this team together, then obviously Daniel Snyder is smoking meth behind the scenes because it's no way that he cannot see over the last 5 seasons that this man has what it takes. When you stand at the podium at the end of a game and admit to the world that you have regressed as a coach, which none of the DC sports media called him out on and still haven't called him out on to this day. Because like I said, when I get in that room, I'm going to ask him that question. They might kick me out, but I'm going to get in that room and I'm going to ask that question. But when you admit that you've regressed as a coach, why are you still the coach, for one? And why does the owner still let you have the keys to the castle if you've already said you're basically over your head in what you're doing?
I was, and before we move on with the show, this is a cool story. I was bartending at a place that's closed now, and ESPN 980. And by the way, Carol, I didn't know we were taking shots at ESPN. Okay,
I mean,
just know we don't have that. Just.
Yeah, that's true too.
Okay, but just know we don't have that kind of legal money, you know. But it was ESPN 980 back then, and I brought that up to one of the guys who came to get a drink, and so I figured, like, I don't know shit about sports, right? I don't, but I know like cool talking points because one of my favorite coworkers on Tru Radio Network, and he happens to sit right here live on WLVS Radio. He said, he came up, started talking about like the Redskins. I didn't know what the hell he was talking about, right? He's naming names. So I threw out the Jay Gruden saying he regressed as a coach thing. And he goes, no, he didn't. He never said that. I said, oh. I said he actually did, And so he Googled it right in front of me because he had to be the white guy to prove me wrong. You know what I mean? You know how they are. I'm like, actually, it's pronounced fa, And so.
We know how they are.
And so he pulls it. He was like, oh, my God, we need a report on this. I was like,
we
gotcha.
already did.
We were all over it. So, yeah, and I think that should have been followed by, I've regressed. Like, if I say, hey, Sheeta and Carol, I've regressed as a radio host, it should be followed by, and that's why I'm quitting. Like, what I'm saying? Like,
Pretty much. But that's what it is. What it is.
I have one question.
Oh, boy.
So, who fires the coaches?
That's between the general manager and the owner, or if the owner is fed up with the general manager, the owner is the one that fires the general manager. The general manager is the one that manages the
NFL or just that team.
The owner of the team.
Okay.
Yeah, each team is their own entity. The owner of the NFL has nothing to do with the head coaches. The head coaches are the employees of the owners of the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just some general knowledge for everybody.
Hey, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, and that's why they're not going to fire the leadership, because all the people that Carol named are all having an orgy every night, and they have pictures of them with children, so nobody can be fired from the Redskins.
R. Kelly.
Honestly, that might have something to do with it. Ernie Grunfeld, he has some pictures on Leonce's, I don't know. Yeah, I can't explain it, man. Some of these things with DC sports is mind-boggling, and the fact that the mainstream media doesn't talk about it, they rather talk about rumors and anonymous sources, is what infuriates me, and that's why we started Sports on the Hill podcast.
Bingo. Sheeta P.
Oh, well.
What's going on in these streets?
Let's buckle up. New year, I know something crazy that happened in entertainment.
First off, to all you motherfuckers. I was like, oh, I didn't know we were. Is my buttons all the way up? I didn't know we were.
Did I bring my vest with me?
I'm like, Carol, are you strapped? Carol, are you strapped?
Let me check my book bag. Let me check my book bag. I'm a changed man.
She was shouting out the Coke boys. Like,
Trying to be a better man.
Somebody double check the door.
Somebody
I'm
call
sorry.
somebody. All right,
sorry.
Sheeta, what's going on in entertainment?
Everything. Uncle Murder. Again.
Who?
Uncle Murder, he's a rapper, but every end of the year since 2017, he drops everything about every artist.
Mm-hmm.
So he exposed transvestites, people you wouldn't believe, the Cardi B's, the Nickies, who was bad, who was not, So that's the hottest, latest thing going on. Basically, Uncle Murder dropped the 2018, he does a year-end thing with all the artists.
What's the juiciest tidbit of 2018?
The transvestites.
He named rappers that were caught with transvestites. I think it was like 2 of them in the song.
It was 2 of them, 2 big rappers.
Yeah,
too.
I forgot the names. But,
It was big
and
rappers. I can't even remember the names. I was so in shock as much stuff as he was saying, and it's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, he talked about everything. I mean, he bombed on Kanye. He talked about Trump. He talked about all kinds of stuff. But
Cardi, Nicki.
Yeah, Cardi, Nicki. But
he said Nicki rhymes better, but Cardi B got a writer, basically.
Yeah.
I was whoa.
The game is so dirty now.
Dirty.
I mean, he went from Free 6ix9ine to Bill Cosby. He covered a lot. And there's like 3 minutes, but he covered a lot. I think he covered pretty much everything.
He covered a lot, all year.
Mm-hmm.
But Nelly dropped a new album, and it's weird because nobody knows.
I was about to say,
I didn't hear about it.
Nobody knows, but yes, Nelly dropped a new album. He has some weird person on it, and I don't know who it is.
But Nelly does have
I love
skills.
Nelly.
Yeah, Nelly does have some lyrical skills. Folks didn't want to give Nelly his props, but Nelly has some skills.
Nelly is my number one. Don't get me wrong. But the fact that he dropped an album and nobody knew, but he got what's funny about Nelly? He has people like 6ix9ine or Meek Mills on it. And you would never know. But they're on his CDs.
Wow.
The promotion is
He
horrible.
still has the legend. I think he's still a legend. People still have to make music with him, but it's just nobody known his album dropped.
Wow, how long ago did it drop?
It dropped yesterday or the other day.
I had no idea.
Oh, Nelly, we still love you.
Got that country grunt.
That's right.
That country.
That's all I ever want to do, Nelly.
Oh boy.
That's why I'm saying about your album.
Oh boy. We'll make sure we tag Nelly in this post.
As far as the entertainment, it's still the same thing with Cardi B, Offset. They went on vacation. They went to Puerto Rico. Oh, it's another bitch that fuck with, Offset, some whatever her name was. I ain't even giving her that clout. Another hoe. You want to come fight me? What up? I don't care. Another hoe. You know what I'm saying?
Security.
And, it's just the same thing. It's nothing really circulating that's really intriguing right now except Uncle Murder's track. Go listen to Uncle Murder's track. That is hot. He exposes everybody. He even exposed himself. And he didn't do that bad, though. Because he got to drop the track.
Yeah.
But that's basically what's going on, The last thing, Machine Gun Kelly, for the end of the year, he dropped something on Instagram about Eminem and still came at Eminem for the last time. Everybody thought it was over. Eminem came back at him, and, that basically wraps up the year.
Quick, before we get to the GOP political segment.
It's coming.
I know it's coming. Just got an update from DC People's Champs. After I did my diatribe on the Wizards, they actually pulled the game out 114-98 against the lowly Atlanta Hawks. Thanks, DC People's Champs, for that tidbit. So even though Ernie Grunfeld still probably has dirty pictures of somebody in upper management while he still has a job, they were able to pull out a victory over a team that were lower in the rankings at them, where they're sitting 11th place in the East right now.
Ooh.
If I had a gun to my head and the dude said spell diatribe, I'd be like, fuck it, dude.
Reading is fundamental.
I did see that Cardi and Offset were actually planning on working the marriage out.
Yeah, but they're still kind of faking. She's still kind of like, I just like, you know what I'm saying?
He said she wants some dick. That's why she's in Puerto Rico. And and that's why I don't hate Cardi as much as everybody else does. I respect her because they asked her, it's like, it looks like you and Offset were in Puerto Rico together. She goes, yeah, I just want some dick. I was like, well, hey.
That's all females ever want.
I mean,
when a female gets mad, that's all she ever wants is some good dick. If you ain't giving good dick, a bitch got an attitude. You know what I'm saying? You're getting cursed out.
It's facts.
Yeah, you gotta have
the truth. You got to take care of home, or somebody else will.
Yeah, do it or don't do nothing.
But does anybody else think this is just like a soap opera being played out for publicity?
Days of
he has
our
an
lives.
album, Robin, and that this is just more ways for them to stay in the limelight, to keep the buzz popping or whatever.
I think so. She did say they're good business partners.
Exactly. It's all the business.
That's the number one key, and that's what you should be, period.
Yeah, so that's why I really don't get caught up in all of it, because I know it's like WWE now. You've seen the storylines before, but you're going to watch a little bit, but then you pretty know what's going to happen.
Watered down a little bit. It's getting watered down.
Speaking of watered down, one last thing on the entertainment front. Kanye and Kim announced they're going to have their, I believe, 4th child.
Yeah, through surrogate.
Through surrogate.
Yeah.
They don't want to have...
Again,
She's not messing up her body again.
Kim's already got that chunk on her. And I love that chunk. Don't get me wrong. And that chunk's been worked on. You know, I love Kim's body. Don't get me wrong. But you know, it looks like they're about to have their 4th. You know what I'm saying?
Through a surrogate.
Yeah,
because you know those pictures that circulated when she lost the weight from the first baby. You know, all the flack
Oh,
she
she
took.
got that real woman shit.
Yeah, she not gonna take that again.
She might die.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to be funny. Like, that shit'll take you out.
Yeah.
But then,
you know,
also on the entertainment, I actually saw when I was watching some that
TMZ.
Nah, I was actually watching Fox News this morning. Thank you.
It's fair and balanced.
I try to steer away from TMZ. Sometimes it just happens. I wake up at 12:30. It's on. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
The voiceover dude be hilarious, man. You end up laughing at him and watching the stories. Be like, yeah, that shit was kind of cool, but you don't want to admit it to nobody. But I saw that Jay-Z and Beyonce put I guess not a ultimatum, but saying folks should try to be. Convert to being a vegan going into 2019, and it's caught a lot of flack. They were actually talking about it this morning, and they made some valid points about folks with that much money can afford the vegan lifestyle to have the food prepared for you, and you know, because it is an expensive lifestyle.
Green Day or whatever you call it.
That's something I picked up on that was funny.
You know the problem with vegans, and if this is Jay-Z and Beyonce, then it's Jay-Z and Beyonce. But the problem with vegans, and I mean any vegan out there in the world, is like, for example, right? What if I decided to stop eating pork, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and vegan, and they do this too. You know, people that don't eat pork or whatever. Like, I will just not eat pork, and it'd just be how I lived, right? Mm-hmm. Vegans have to let you know they're vegan. They have to make sure it's like this special elite club of, and like they're even apparently better than vegetarians. They're like, well, I'm vegan. I just, I don't need goat cheese. I just, like, and they're just like, it's cool, dude. If you're whatever your diet is, just relax. Like, it's cool. I don't need to know every 5 minutes that you're a vegan.
I don't either.
Have you guys noticed that the vegans always have to remind you that they're vegan?
I mean,
like you're gonna force them to eat bacon.
If it's not just vegan, well, vegans do it a lot, but folks love labeling themselves, so they like to be a part of a clique. They like to feel like they belong. So yeah, the vegans especially. I mean, I tell them, if you like eating fruits and berries and bark and stuff, cool. That's more steaks and bacon for me. No problem. I have no problem with that. Eat all of that good stuff. That's cool. Makes you feel good. Great. Bacon makes me feel good too. Mm-hmm. I feel real good after eating a couple of pieces of bacon in the morning.
You know?
Start my day out right.
Right.
Would you ever be vegan, Sheeta?
Yes, I would.
You'd be a vegan?
But not that type of vegan. Not like, every time I eat it's a vegetable. Like, I'm not that type of person. But I used to be a vegetarian when I was a child, and I grew up on a lot of herbs and spices. And sometimes, even now to this day, just growing up like that, but not eating meat in my diet, sometimes I reject meat. Like, my body just, no bullshit, my body just naturally doesn't want to eat meat.
No pause, or is that a pause?
I'll eat some meat, but not that type of meat. You know what I mean?
Ooh, boy.
I would ask you this. When you said you grew up on herbs and spices, since you do both, since you do the vegetarian lifestyle for a little bit, and then...
Yeah, I switch it up.
Yeah, and then you switch it up and go, chicken lifestyle, whatever. Which herbs and spices are better, the vegetarian ones or the ones from Popeyes?
It's better for you. You know what tastes better?
That joke was sponsored by Popeyes. We'll be calling y'all tomorrow.
That ain't right, man. That's not right. That's not right.
There are herbs and spices involved in both.
Vegetarian herbs and spices. Popeyes.
We got to check that bottle again.
Popeyes taste better, but the other ones are greater.
CP3, the bottle is only water this week because after the holidays,
that's right.
My payment came in late, so I was like, well, at least I got a bottle of water at home,
Water works.
Yeah.
It's
Definitely for you.
vegetables.
Does anyone have a lemon in the studio? I need a lemon with my water. Oh, folks.
Oh, boy.
We're doing a quick break, or we're just gonna power right through. It's not. What are
We
we
can
doing?
do a quick break.
What y'all feel like doing? First show of the year. Y'all want to take a quick break, or y'all want to keep
Let's
rolling?
do a quick, like 3-minute break.
We can do a quick
I
break.
gotta pee out all my water. The vodka never comes out, but if it's water,
Where's the engineer?
Oh, you sweat that shit out, bro.
do we have one right now?
No,
Okay.
there you go. He's there.
There he
I can't-
goes.
I can't see.
Don't be slipping on your pimping, nigga.
Oh,
Come on, man. You can't be calling the engineer out.
Sorry.
Sheeta, we love the engineer.
I'm
See,
sorry.
you
I
know,
love
the
the engineer
engineer
too. I'm
is
just
the man.
saying. I'm going
Always
to keep
love
it
the
a
engineer,
stack.
Sheeta.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Ain't nothing if you don't keep it real. You know what I mean?
Quick break, y'all.
I'm
We be back.
sorry.
A two-step, now go the two-step, now go the two-step, now go the two-step, now go the two-step, now get jiggy with it, 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 now go the two-step, hey, wait the two-step, now get the two-step, just like I two-step, watch me get jiggy with it, watch me get jiggy with it, watch me get jiggy with it, watch me get jiggy, go the two-step. I hit it up fresh, my stunner shades on. Two-stepping, getting jiggy with my J's on. Don't get your steps wrong, don't try to bite mine. Two-stepping, yell back, one more time. See, we gon' form a line, and we gon' step it right. Now step it to the left, girl, you know you dynamite. Let's have some good times, I see you got it right. Keep my wrist ice colder than a Bud Light. Now I'ma take my time, where the gangsters at? And you can still post a wall, nigga, holla back. Grey goose and yak, blunt fit with kush. I'm getting jiggy with it, smoking on that George Bush. Step. A two-step, now go the two-step, now go the two-step, now go the two-step, now go the two-step, now get jiggy with it, 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 now go the two-step, hey, why that two-step, now get that two-step, like that two-step, watch me get jiggy with it, watch me get jiggy with it, watch me get jiggy with it, watch me get jiggy, go the two-step, two steps to the left, now take two steps to the right, now bring it back,
Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Ooh. Walk it like I talk it. Talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Ooh. Walk it like I talk it. Hey. Take my shoes and walk a mile, something that you can't do. Hey. Big talks of the town, big boy gang moves. I like to walk around with my chain loose. She just bought a new ass, but got the same boobs. Dope scientist. That's my sauce where you find it. Look it up. Adding up chicks, don't mind it. Get your respect in diamonds. I bought a plain Jane roller. These niggas bought they fame. I think my back got scoliosis cause I swerved the lane. Heard you signed your life for that brand new chain. I heard think it came with stripes, but you ain't straight with the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome back to Tru Radio, right here on WLVS Radio. Myself, Black GOP, Sheeta P, CP3. Again, we did not agree with the P's in all of our names. It was just like, it was just like the beginning of the universe. It just boom, the Big Bang Theory had happened, and all of a sudden everyone had a P in their name. And you know, get yourself a nickname with a P in your name. Just P sounds good, right? Sorry. I think was that a pause or a no pause? All right, I'll figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure that later on.
Folks, we've heard, we've done the State of the Union earlier. We've heard from CP3 on the state of sports. We've heard from Sheeta P on the state of entertainment, celebrity, gossip, and what have you. And now it's my turn to talk a little politics. And I'm not going to run it down. I think I only have two subjects. As much right now, as trash overflows in front of the White House, right? Because the government shut down, right? But I'm not going to go into everything because it's hard to talk about Trump all the time. It's just really, really hard. So what I will talk about is something important. I took a lot of heat for not voting in the last election, right? And I used to be one of those guys who's like, well, if you don't vote, you can't say anything. Oh, yeah, it's America, right? But your ancestor died so you could vote. I used to be one of those guys, right? Until this last election hit, and I'm sitting there looking like, okay, I got Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. I'm just gonna stay in bed this morning, and that's really what happened. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. This is the first time I ever did not vote, so I took a lot of heat. But then when the statistics came out, I found out that 50% of the country didn't vote. Half of the country, record number, didn't vote, right? And we all knew that Joe Biden was the guy back then, right? I think we all knew that. But he had an issue with this. I believe his son passed, so he stepped down. Clinton swapped down, and then the party railroaded the party railroaded Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
We all saw that happen. We all knew Bernie Sanders could have beat Trump, right?
Yep.
And then crept Hillary Clinton, whatever, right? And so here we are, right, at this moment in history, right? So that leads me to today. About 2 days ago, Elizabeth Warren, who I wanted to run back then, because even though I lean conservative, former Republican, right, but Elizabeth Warren announced she was going to run, and I was like, oh my God, I have a politician that I can believe in. I have a politician that I'm really, really down with, always been into. She has her issues, especially the whole DNA test where she was like 0.2% Indian or whatever the number was. And, that I think that discredited her, and they're already talking about that. So Elizabeth Warren announced she's going to run, right? Love her to death, right? I love Elizabeth Warren. Right? Always have, always will, right? More on a progressive as opposed to a Democrat, because the Democratic Party is so fucked up that they have all these little categories. So there's a traditional Democrat, a really left-leaning Democrat, a progressive, a conservative Democrat. They have all these, and they hate each other, right? They all hate each other, all the groups. So Elizabeth Warren announced she's going to run. I was like, oh, yes, I have a politician I know I'm going to vote for. And immediately, the Democratic Party comes out. I was like, oh, not Elizabeth Warren.
Wow.
That's you have a woman, strong, intelligent, great background, voted on some action and some overseas action, but they all do eventually, as far as wars and stuff go. But it's still they come out and go, oh, we don't like Elizabeth Warren. So CNN, let me tell you, as far as like CP3 wants to go after the sports, I'm coming after the news, right? So CNN puts out a hit job on Warren and somehow says, I don't want to go over the whole details, but they say that she's too left to lead the left. And I swear to God, I watched it. I'm like, oh my God, they're tearing her apart already. They're tearing her apart. So I think the Democratic Party is trying to just kind of give it to Biden. The same way they gave it to Hills Have Eyes, for the election she lost. And I'm okay with Biden. I like Biden. But Biden's more entertaining. So, and I don't want to be sitting there, drunk and watching Joe Biden and Donald Trump debate. It'd be like SmackDown. It'd be
it's going to be epic.
They might as well put it in a flaming steel cage while they're at it.
Celebrity Deathmatch should come back. Celebrity Deathmatch should come back, because I think they're leaning toward Biden more, because Biden can jab them at the debate. They know that Warren, she's good with facts, but Trump, he's going to deflect from the facts. He's going to make points to infuriate, and he's going to call names. And Biden, he's shown that he has that sharp tongue too. So that's probably what they're leaning towards more him than her, because he's going to always throw the Pocahontas stuff out there.
See, and here's the problem though. the Democratic Party cannot beat Trump at what Trump does. Even if it's Joe Biden, you're not going to out-insult Trump because Trump's going to tweet on you and Trump's going to talk down. You know what I'm saying? Trump's going to, and Trump has presidential influence, therefore he can have rallies whenever he wants, whereas Biden would have to raise money. You know what I'm saying? So I think the counter strategy would be for them to pick a person like Warren who can just stay factual, like I'm not going to acknowledge all the stuff he's saying to a white woman, everybody, who has 1.0% Indian in her, right? And she could just pull the white woman shield and not really acknowledge it's there. Come on, guys, it's there. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah,
it's all
like
there.
It's all politics, like
that's my phrase. You know,
white woman shield,
white woman shield,
woman shield.
Yeah, if a white woman pulls into it and steals a parking spot from you, like if you're about to park and a white woman pulls in, you can't do anything about it. It's true. It's
Smash
true.
the back of her car.
You can't do it. That's like 60 years.
Oh man.
You know?
Well, that's horrible.
So I think it'd be better to go as like kind of like what Michelle Obama said, go low. You know what I'm saying? When they go high and insult and whatever, because like I don't want to see two presidential candidates fighting like it's a wrestling match. That's the only reason I want to see Biden and Trump.
But that's what they want.
That's what they're gonna do. I was about to say that's what it's. It's entertainment. Trump's an entertainer. Like, people forget that he had a reality show on TV.
Exactly.
He's there to entertain. Like, his whole presidency has been an entertainment.
But
he tweets more than he does his job.
I think he tweets more than Kanye West.
You know what I mean?
It's sickening, honestly, where we are with our so-called president. The stuff that he says and stuff that he does is so unpresidential. But if you look back to the previous 8 years where they were trying to find any and everything to discredit, the black guy in the office, and now with him, it's like, well, he's a businessman. That's what he does. He shoots from the hip. He says what's on his mind, but then when he says something stupid, oh, you misunderstood what he said. But I thought he said what was on his mind. Yep. Just like with this shutdown, he's shutting down the government to supposedly make it more safe, but the departments that's not getting paid is the Homeland Security and Department of Defense. I don't get it.
I agree. Guys, we're rapidly coming towards the end of the show. So the one last thing I talk about on the political front is we've seen, I believe, the third video of our troops at the border, shooting tear gas into Mexico. Not like the people come through and run at the troops. We'd shoot it over the wall. This kind of already there, fence, wall, barrier, whatever you want to call it. And we shoot it into another country. And my question is, and this is like my favorite question ever, right? And I thought about this, right? Outside of asking why black people like Kwanzaa. My other favorite question, is if we're shooting a toxic and harmful substance into a foreign country, is that not considered an act of war? I believe it is.
It is.
That's a very valid point, good sir.
If we're shooting toxic chemicals into even they can be at the wall or the fence or the barrier or the line or whatever, the line of scrimmage, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, they can be there. But as long as they're not entering, do we have a right to tear gas their citizens? I don't think so.
So they can, if they want to, they can send toxic chemicals into DC or
no, they can't. The other country can't. Exactly.
They could if they wanted to, like that stuff that kills you when you breathe.
Tear gas.
Whatever it's called, anything that kills you when you breathe.
Yeah.
They can do it though, right?
To us or another country?
They can do it
y'all
to
getting
us,
into
right?
y'all getting into some deep government secrets.
America's like the boss, but could they do it to us? Like,
America?
You mean Mexico?
Yeah, kind of like Mexico, but like fuck America.
No, they couldn't. They absolutely couldn't.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know because I ain't trying to die.
They absolutely
not from that.
We kill enough of our own citizens. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we
I
won't
think
have
on
to
that
worry about the chemical warfare. That's what.
Well,
I'm
we
saying.
actually do, but that's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother show.
Okay,
we
okay.
gotta wrap this one up now. That's a whole nother show.
Folks, we're about to get out of here. Myself, Black GOP, Sheeta P, CP3, folks. I just want to say, guys, tell me you can find yourselves
Everywhere. Google, Bing, Everywhere. Facebook, SHIDA, POPE, Instagram, same thing. Google, same thing. Twitter, same thing. Everything's the same.
CP3, hashtag it, SportsOTHP, hashtag it, Tru Radio Network, hashtag it, SportsOTHP.com. Check out the page, like it, follow it, check out for the best content you're going to get in the DC sports media. And we out.
Peace.